It's the starting five with the sleepers. We are both rested off a football bye week. Carr had a little birthday weekend. You looking good? Looks like you survived. Everybody happy, healthy, and all that.
Oh yeah, everything's good. Just got a nice little shower to start the day. Doing a nice little ear cleaning as well, so I can make sure that I can hear you clearly. If you don't already do this, make sure you Q-tip your ears after every shower. It's a life-changing experience.
After every shower?
After every shower.
Is that like recommended? Is that doctor approved?
It might not be, but it's card approved.
I think that's a lot of Q-tips.
Can we also point out my background has changed?
I didn't even notice. Yeah, you got a lot of checkers going on.
Yeah, a lot of checkers, globe. No more jersey.
You're trying to disassociate from sports.
Less sports, more self within.
I still want to understand what the checkers mean. There's got to be something deeper here for you.
It can mean a lot of things, to be honest.
Life is just a game.
Life's a game. Check yourself. Check on others before yourself. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go with this.
There certainly are, Cart. Well, it's great to see you growing as a person always, in pursuit of becoming a better man.
Is that a fat joke?
No, not at all.
Oh, like actual like self-growth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm not coming in on a Monday with that energy.
I definitely am on edge this week.
Well, it's rivalry week. We'll get to that. We're going to break down a few Michigan State things that happened this week. Michigan got a big recruit. Michigan State had some scrimmage notes leak. We're going to talk about those. Actually, let's lead there, Cart. Let's just go right to it. Michigan State scrimmaged Tennessee. And I would preface everything we're going to say in this episode and outside of this episode in regards to scrimmages, secret scrimmages, as don't take too much from these. It doesn't really matter that much because the format of these changes every single time there's a scrimmage. Half the time they're in like a random YMCA gym and they run like 4 minutes at a time and then they bring all the scrubs in. Like you just can't tell anything. If someone leaks you numbers and scores, you have no idea what the context is of those numbers and scores. However, we are here to overreact and we are here to break it down and try and be entertaining and draw conclusions. So we're going to play that game a little bit. But again, I preface this with don't take anything we're saying as if it's written in stone. Michigan State scrimmage, Tennessee. We heard from multiple sources who it kind of through the grapevine from people in the gym, passed to people, passed to us, told us it was highly competitive. It was structured very close to a real game, more so than most secret scrimmages are. The pictures that came out from Tennessee's basketball account sort of reinforced that. There was a scoreboard with a clock winding down from 20, two separate halves. Saw pictures of who was in the game from Michigan State. Looked like they had a lot of guys in the game. There was a picture at one point with Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper on the floor together. Beyond that, it was a lot of the five starters. But all in all, Michigan State played Tennessee, who is a top 15 team in the country preseason. Very close. Michigan State had a lead in the second half. Tennessee won the game. And from there, we can draw conclusions on the little that we heard about a few particular individual players. But first, Cart, how do you feel about Michigan State playing Tennessee close in a secret scrimmage?
Oh, hang the banner. We're here. Hang the banner. We're definitely here. And to know that it was close to a game situation, oh, we're here. They're sleeping on us. I'm like you with regards to secret scrimmages. I feel like it falls in that mold of like NBA summer league type things. Like if someone has a good performance, like you really use that, you run with that for your agenda. If it's playing bad, you kind of chalk it up to summer league. I feel like these scrimmages are the exact same. Like you said, they're not all game situations. Players rotate. It's some coaches treat it like a practice. So it's like, you're not going to play 15 guys in a real game a certain amount of minutes. Like it's not going to work like that. With that said, I'm on the train with you as far as being high on Tennessee coming into this season. I think they got a lot of older players that have done it, been through a lot, and also guys I think could take leaps this year with guys like Zakai Ziegler still in the fold. Vescovi is still in college and a preseason first team all SEC guy. And that's a good backcourt test for our team. And, we were in the game. So, coming into this season with the non-conference, I'm not as confident in the team as I would like to be. So to hear that they, hung with a really good team at this point of the year, with Jay Akins kind of still in the air with his injury, I'll take that small win. So I'm kind of happy with it.
Escovy is preseason all frosted tips, by the way. Great hair on that man.
Will you ever get frosted tips?
Maybe as a punishment in the Biggest Loser show or something like that. I think I could pull it off a little bit.
Be interesting.
It would definitely be interesting. Yeah, a couple more just notes from me from what I've been able to glean from people. We try to get a box score, and man, people do not want to share box scores from secret scrimmages.
But box score keeping is the next worst thing next to gatekeeping. Okay, let's just send out the box scores.
Just we're not gonna do shit. We're just gonna come on here and talk about it and read it word for word. But what I was able to get was some specific numbers on a few particular guys. And this has essentially been confirmed. I don't think anybody wants it out there, but Malik Hall had 25 points. He was very good. Mady Sissoko played 27 minutes at center. So, I mean, Izzo came out and said, essentially at media day, this guy's leading. He's going to be our starting center. No shit, 27 minutes. Haven't seen a Michigan State center play 27 minutes in forever. The problem is he had 1 point and 5 rebounds in those 27 minutes. He didn't foul out, though, in 27 minutes. That's a positive for Mady. And also, don't have numbers on this, but heard that Tyson Walker was good. So I guess if that jumps out, if there's a guy in the backcourt who looked good, it's Tyson Walker after scrimmage number 1. Like you said, no Jaden Akins. To summarize all of this, I think this is a very good result for Michigan State. If you would have told me that Mady Sissoko played 27 minutes, had 1.5 rebounds in this game, I would have thought Michigan State loses by 45 points. That didn't happen, especially without Akins. Like, you know how special I think he is. So to play this Tennessee team, who I think is very good, with essentially 8 guys and have a lead in the second half for most of it, or at least part of it, is a really good development for the floor of this Michigan State team. Maybe there isn't this floor of missing the tournament like I have projected. Maybe they're going to be all right. The thing I would play devil's advocate on is I would assume, without knowing this, I would assume that Tennessee did sort of empty the bench at one point. Michigan State doesn't have a bench to empty. Like maybe that's part of this. Like in a secret scrimmage of 40 minutes, like everyone is going to get run. The worst of Michigan State's roster would just be that Kohler Cooper lineup. I'm sure Trey Holloman was in there, but then like they're probably still having Tyson Walker and Pierre Brooks on the floor. And like that's going to be better than the 11th through 15th guys for most teams, simply because Michigan State doesn't have an 11th through 15th guy. I don't know if that played a factor here. But what I'm saying is like maybe in a real 40-minute game when both teams are only playing their top 8 and your starting center has 1.5 rebounds in 27 minutes, maybe it looks a little worse and there's a little more negative impact there. But how worried are you on Mady? Is it Mady or Maddie? I keep going back.
I'm pretty sure it's Mady.
I think it's Mady, but we say Maddie a lot.
Yeah, so big sis, big Sissington. But this is one thing I will say, and this is kind of my devil's advocate point to it, is Tennessee is the type of team, though I'm high on, it's not the type of team that scares me as far as matchup wise. Like they don't have, unless I'm mistaken, I know they did have a 5-star center come in. I think it was Julian Phillips. Didn't really look at the Tennessee box score side of it on this side, but in any way, it's not a team with a dominant big or a dominant back to the basket kind of guy or a go-to guy with his back to the basket. So those are teams that I think Michigan State will, I think having Mady on the floor and other guys on the floor center, it won't be as glaring of an issue defensively if there's not a guy on the other team who can kind of expose that defensive deficiency. So, devil's advocate, I guess, that would be my point for it. But hey, all in all, we were in the game with Tennessee with Mady playing 27 minutes. Mady playing 27 minutes still scares me. I'm sorry, it just does. I got 3-minute sample sizes from all the games he played in the past 2 years of college basketball, and I didn't like any of the sample sizes. No good samples. So I guess we'll see. But, we didn't get blown out. we could have used if you would have told me that Tennessee beat our ass and blew us out, I would have been like, well, I mean, yeah, I think Tennessee's actually good.
Yeah, I would have set the pregame line on this. I like Tennessee minus 10.5, make it double digits. So
Yeah, probably something like that. Also, if Boo Booey was on Michigan State, we would have heard about him having a good scrimmage. Did we hear about AJ Hogarth having a good scrimmage?
we did not, just for the record. You said it, not me. Look, Tennessee does have a 7'1" center. I'm going to botch the pronunciation, but Uros Plavsic.
But he's not a back to the basket guy, really. To me,
you got to be when you're 7'1",
but
he's not a scorer. He's not a scorer. He was a big part of their team last year. Like, he was their second guy. He came on and off the floor with the other bigs they actually had last year. But other than him, it's a bunch of like 6'8" forward-ish types. I think all in all, I think it's a great sign that Michigan State played well and was in a game with Tennessee with their starting center being that non-productive. It's a massive red flag that the center was that non-productive. And look, you guys know Tom Izzo. Anybody listening to this knows Tom Izzo. When has he ever played a center 27 minutes? Like, you know how happy we would have been if he just played Marcus Bingham 27 minutes?
Coach Stevens is gone. He handled the big rotation.
Apparently so, but the problem is like I've been screaming just play Bingham more minutes for 2 years now. I'm not screaming play Madi more minutes.
Well, can we say this, G? Because you mentioned this already. He didn't foul out. 5 rebounds is not really getting it done for me. I'm not expecting him.
Let's not spin this. It's empty. Like, it's just empty.
I would like to spin it.
You heard the voice note that I heard from someone who got reliable information on how Madi looked that would be unbiased in this spot. And the answer was laughably bad. And the flipping that, though, the other voice note we heard was Michigan State was really good. So, like, both things can be true. But, like, God, imagine if they just went and got a starting center card. Or imagine if the bigger red flag here, more than anything, it's not that Madi's bad. We knew Madi's bad. You've been saying that for years. You don't think Madi knows how to play basketball. Like, Big Sis does not know how to play basketball. The bigger red flag here is Jackson Kohler card. Because there was a lot of gas on that kid 6 months ago. It went silent in the summer, and now Madi has to play 27 empty minutes. Like, what is he looking like right now? Because we're not hearing a thing on Jackson Kohler, and that's really
Coach Izzo mentioned that he was coming along a little slower.
You know how bad that is?
Huh?
You know how bad that is for Tom Izzo to come out and say,
it's catastrophic.
Yeah,
but we'll be all right.
When has Izzo ever done that, man?
We'll be all right.
Will we?
I think so.
Will the center spot be all right? The team will be all right. Will the center?
I think we'll find a way.
Find a way against the Zach Edey's and the Hunter Dickinsons and the Trace Jackson Davises of the world.
Yep.
Find a way. Okay.
I'm not afraid of Trace Jackson Davis.
You want to elaborate on that quickly?
Way too many Miller Cop TikTok involvement for him this summer.
Understood.
He don't want it.
Understood. Well, I think you're in danger of many more 27-minute 1.5 rebound performances, but if that means 7-point losses to top 15 teams, I guess you take that, right?
Hang the banner.
Hang the banner. Let's move to another secret scrimmage. Illinois played Kansas, and this one was even harder to get concrete info from than the Michigan State one was for us. But what we heard,
which is bullshit, by the way, we should have had it PDF to us.
Yeah, honestly, with the way we've handled ourselves as an Illinois show for the last 6 months, why have we not gotten served this up on a platter? Illinois beat Kansas in the scrimmage. I say beat with parentheses. They're quotation marks, sorry. Parentheses would be this. Illinois has some things that I'm very curious about right now, Cart. Their starting lineup does not include Sky Clark, who we are big fans of. We've been very pro Sky, very high on Sky. He's not in the starting lineup, which is crazy to me. They started Terrence Shannon at point guard. They started Luke Goody in the spot that I would assume should be Sky's at some point. Melendez was in there. Everybody else was the starters you would expect: Coleman Hawkins, Matthew Meyer. So look, they're really going the positionless route here with no point guard. That's fine. I like it on paper. Underwood's a guy who molds the way he plays to the personnel he has. It's one of the coolest things about Brad Underwood. But red flag for me if they're really serious that Sky Clark's not one of their best 5 players, and they just like if Terrence Shannon's their point guard, this team's going to be not very good.
Yeah, they're trying to. You seen those arguments about ring culture ruining like sports and like professional sports? Freshman earning it culture is ruining it for me. Like, come on, we're all college basketball players at this point. Some of us might be older, some of us might be younger. Let's put our best players out there. Like, yeah, that's great. Make them earn it. Get in the trenches. Be a freshman. Earn your stripes. That's like really, really cool. But it's also like 2022. Let's play our best players. Now, with that said, I'm loving the lineup if you throw Sky in there. Like, give me Sky, Shannon, Melendez. You said Meyer and Hawkins.
Yeah.
Like, I'm loving that. Danger off the bench, Ty Rodgers off the bench, bring Luke Goody off the bench for shooting. Like, I think that's I like the makeup of that team. And I mean, like you said, it's a secret scrimmage, so there were some adjustments going on. Kansas I think is a really good basketball team. I think they'll be really good this year.
Oh, can I push back on that?
Except I think Jalen Wilson stinks.
So I want to push back on Kansas really quickly. There is no team in the top 25 that I am more down on relative to where preseason rankings have them than Kansas. I think this team is the most overrated team in the country. I think they're getting the natty bump, right? You win a national championship, everyone just assumes your team is good next year.
But we're getting Yesufu minutes.
Yesufu is not what we thought Yesufu was a year ago.
But they got a guy named Grady Dick.
Yeah, I'm out. Like, people love Grady Dick because his name's Grady Dick. Like, I'm sorry, he's not young gravy. He's young gravy in basketball form, but like, we don't need him on the basketball court. He's not that good. Jalen Wilson, if he's your best player, your team's not that good. To me, Kansas doesn't have a center. I know they have some like young guys, but like they have no center.
Ernest Uday.
He's not going to be good. I don't think they have a good center, and I don't think they have a good point guard. And I think they have a bunch of mediocre wings. Their best 2 wings left the program. Like, Kevin, I'm sorry. I was thinking Texas Tech. I was going to say Terrence Shannon and Kevin McCullough. McCullough's on Kansas now. McCullough's not that good. It's like,
stop it. This is a Kevin McCullough Stan podcast, and we're not going to have you slander that man.
I'm just out on Kansas. So all in all, like, good that Illinois beat Kansas. This is kind of like the Michigan State thing we just did. Like, good result. A lot of red flag question marks for me, though. Here's my issue. I think Brad Underwood is a genius. I love Daddy Brad. I think he's a great coach. Everybody knows that. Like, he's the best coach in the Big Ten. If he's not going to do something stupid, that's where I'm at with Brad. Like, I think he's incapable. He's capable of saying stupid things. He's incapable of making basketball decisions that negatively impact his team, from everything I've seen from Brad Underwood in the last 10 years. So if he believes that Sky Clark is not one of the 5 best players on the team, Sky Clark's not one of the best 5 players on the team. And that conflicts with what you and I have been saying all offseason. It conflicts with my view of Illinois' team this year, because there is no player more important to their team's success in the Big Ten than Sky Clark, because there is no other point guard on Illinois. And I know they got some other young dudes who could jump in there, but like, if Illinois is going to be the best team in the Big Ten, they need their 5-star freshman to be their 5-star freshman. Otherwise, they're starting Terrence Shannon at point guard, and that's going to be a disaster. So I kind of look at this now like you could make the case like, oh, maybe they need shooting, and that's why Luke Goody's in there. Luke Goody had 2 shots inside the arc on the entirety of last season. Like, that's not a good development if Luke Goody has to be in there for shooting. That means your team doesn't have enough shooting in general. And I think that's sort of where I'm at with Illinois right now. Is like, they don't have a point guard, or at least until we see Sky in a featured role, they don't have a point guard. They don't have a lot of shooting, and they don't really have a true center. Like, we're all sort of just accepting that Coleman Hawkins is going to be the guy at center. And I like that on paper, but like, there's a chance that bites them in the ass. You know that. Like, we're assuming a lot of things go well for Illinois for this team to be really, really good. And now that we're in a secret scrimmage and we're hearing Sky Clark's not even starting, it's where I'm like, oh shit, things aren't going as good as we hoped they would for them.
Yeah, I mean, if we just break it down simply, you start the 5-star freshman with 2 Y's in his name over the ginger whose name is Luke.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like everyone understood that.
I mean, that seems I got a little personal there. I don't think I like that. I'm a Luke Goody fan. Just
Or I feel like it's more Luke averagey than Luke Goody.
okay. Last thing I'll say on this, I don't buy that this is just a make him earn his stripes thing. And I think you said that via text too. But like they started Kofi as a freshman over at the time Basana's Philly was really good. And they started Io as a freshman, I believe, and they had some good guards at the time. Like Brad Underwood has started his freshman when they're really good. He's not a make them earn it guy. So this team's begging for a point guard all offseason. All we heard was Brad complaining that Dane Dange is their best passer, or that Ty Rodgers might be their best point. Like at a certain point, there's so much smoke here that they don't have a point guard that maybe they just don't have a point guard. And I think that
if that is the case, that is scary.
It's very scary. But for the record, planting the flag, still believe in Sky Clark. Sky, if you're listening to this, still believe in you. You're our guy. But yeah, we maybe nothing happened, right? That's the motto. Maybe we need some things to happen for Sky.
Oh, need things to happen.
Just saying. Okay, let's move on. Big Ten Player of the Year. Kind of random. We're throwing this topic in there, but just want to know your preseason prediction for Big Ten Player of the Year. We will do a full podcast on some preseason stuff soon. We're honestly probably going to move away from the starting five topic format into just the podcast format for the season, as we have done the past few years. But for now, topic number 3: who is your preseason Big Ten Player of the Year?
All right, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you my pick, and then I'm gonna give you my sleeper pick for Big Ten Player of the Year. My pick for Big Ten Player of the Year is I'm going to go with Hunter Dickinson being Player of the Year in the Big Ten. I think he's going to put up the stats this year. I think that the Big Ten is down overall, so I think Michigan will find their way into top 4 in this conference. I think they're good enough to be top 4 in the conference, and I think he'll have the numbers to back it up. I think the personnel around him will help him reach those numbers as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hunter Dickinson. I don't want to pick Trace. I'm out on Trace this year. That's my stance I'm taking. My sleeper pick. You already know who it's gonna be, and the man needs respect. Shout out Pikel and the gang. Paul Mulcahy.
Dog, this has gotten so out of control.
I'm telling you, Paul Mulcahy is going to put up numbers this year. It's going to be ridiculous.
I've never seen you like stand a white boy so hard. I'm getting concerned. I'm getting a little jealous.
I'm telling you, he's going to average double digits. He's going to average probably close to 6 assists, probably close to 6 rebounds.
So
like a guy averaging like 12,
10, 6, and 6 on a 500 team is Big Ten Player of the Year.
12, 6, and 6 on a Rutgers team. That's going to be a factor this year.
Oh my God, this has gotten a little wild. I gotta check you. I'm sorry. Just like I've loved the Mulcahy gas. I've loved the hype for him. I am getting jealous for sure. Like, come on, I gotta hold the white boy spot in your heart right now. But this is too much. Like, you got to draw the line at Big Ten Player of the Year and Paul Mulcahy. He's not the best player on Rutgers. I'm Rudy's the best player on Rutgers.
Nah, Paul's the best player on Rutgers.
Dude, he might not be top 2. McConnell's pretty good too. And this is why we like Rutgers. But like, come on, he's not that. This is insanity. I like the first pick better. Clearly, I like the first pick better. Although it's wrong. Can I give you my picks? Because I got 2. And there's got to be somewhere I can bet this. I'll put some actual money on it. But number 1 is Zach Edey. If Zach Edey can play 25 to 30 minutes, Zach Edey's numbers will be better than anybody else's numbers. And I think Purdue's going to be better than I thought Purdue was going to be 3 weeks ago. I've listened to a lot of the preseason stuff people have done on the Big Ten, and the consistent thing that I find myself feeling bad about is my Purdue preseason prediction. I thought Purdue would be horrible and like flirt with missing the tournament. Starting to like that roster. They got the freshman, I think it's Braden Jones, who's
Braden Smith.
Braden Smith, I'm sorry. True point guard. Like Purdue hasn't really had a true point guard in a while. And I think they need that. I think that will benefit them. And this team has talent. Like Kaufman Wren and Caleb First were high 4-star, 5-star type kids. So like year 2 from them, give them an actual role. And Zach Edey, we know what Zach Edey is. He's unstoppable. If he just plays 25 minutes and they have good roles around him, I like that team a lot. So I think the path for Edey is play 25 minutes and be top 4 in the Big Ten. And he should be the winner of that award. Second, which I think is actually the winner. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You should know. Do you know?
No, I don't know.
This guy's gonna win. It's Chris Murray. It's Chris Murray. What are we doing? It's Chris Murray. Fran McCaffrey does this every single year. We're going on what 3 consecutive seasons of Iowa having not just the Big Ten Player of the Year, but the National Player of the Year in that system.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, and no disrespect to Luka Garza, he was generational, and you know what Keegan is. We're seeing him do it in the NBA now. But like, when you give Fran McCaffrey an individual talent like that, you put him in Fran McCaffrey's system, he's going to put up National Player of the Year numbers. And even if Chris is worse than Keegan, which he is at the moment, but like no one's been able to give me a pointed answer on what Chris does worse than Keegan as far as projecting him into this season. Like all people say is he's not Keegan. Well, have you compared Chris's numbers last year to Keegan's numbers as a freshman? Because
I don't get why everyone's popular take is you think he's going to be. Everyone just gives him a bump because you think he's going to be what Keegan's going to be, and I mean maybe, but like also the numbers and stats match up with it. Like this was a guy who was averaging crazy numbers playing 17 minutes a game. You bump that up to 30 plus. He's probably going to do better. And the way he plays the game, it might be lazy because he's a twin and he has a brother, but like they play pretty similar. The proof's in the pudding.
Yeah, I just think we should not be surprised by this at all. And I think like last year, a lot of people were surprised by Keegan. It's like, oh, we didn't know what he'd look like in a first option role. Well, Chris's numbers are identical to Keegan's from the year before. So I'm not saying he's going to do it word for word because I do think he is slightly worse than Keegan. I think Keegan's just more skilled in general. Chris is going to be close. And we all think Iowa's going to be pretty good. So if Iowa finds himself at the top of the Big Ten race again, top 3, top 4, and Chris is averaging, like there's no player in the Big Ten who's more likely to average like 23 points a game.
Right. Like also like think about it. Like think about power forwards in the league that are going to be guarding Chris.
Nobody.
Like Chris Murray is going to give Brace Thompson 50.
Yeah, you're gonna have nightmares. I bet everybody in the Big Ten has to be seeing the Murray family in their nightmares. I wish there was another Murray coming. How great would that be?
That would be like is Terrence Williams checking Chris Murray?
No, nobody is. It's Joey Howler. Like nobody is. Also, underrated thing about the Murray family is that you kind of look like a third Murray. Carter with a K, Murray? Carter Murray?
That would be kind of fire. I wish I could hoop.
You can't hoop now? You've lost that?
Yeah, I lost everything.
Oh, except your checkers.
Yeah.
And your glove.
Look good.
Dude, what's the one behind your head right now?
More checkers.
I was gonna say it's blue. Okay, I was just curious what the color motif was.
It's like a purple. It's like a lavender, like a hunter green, and then like a fuchsia kind of color.
Interesting. Did you pick the colors out yourself?
Yes, I did.
Did you make those entirely yourself?
I did, yes.
Could you talk me through how you made them? Like, is it a white just sheet background and then you cut squares and glued them down?
No. So it's just like a white sheet of paper. Take like a meter, like a ruler stick, put it across, line, put it across again, line, paint in everyone like a checker, erase the pencil.
Oh, you painted.
Painted. Put it in a frame.
Painted. I didn't realize that was paint.
Yeah, it's painted.
Oh, very nice. You're a real artist move by you. Impressive.
Thank you. I've been trying to find some other things to fill in my time.
Michigan got a big recruit. Papa Kante. to be exact, giving Michigan the best name starting lineup I have ever seen from a college basketball program, potentially, Carter. Doug McDaniel, Kobe Buffkin, Jet Howard, Yo-Yo Yusuf It, and Papa Kante. That is an all-timer name team. If we could align the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I've always begged teams to do with that, that might actually be dual. I think Doug's wearing 0.
Is Doug wearing 0?
Doug is 0, yeah. Which is a whole separate thing. We need a whole topic on that for you, because I know you saw that pic of Doug on the thumbnail last week doing this.
I did. Also, I had no clue he was 0. That does change things.
We are going to have a Doug conversation sooner than later. But point is, they got Papa Kante. He is a 4-star center. If you don't know anything about Papa Kante's game, you should watch some highlights. I am not the biggest fan of Papa.
I want you to tell me this. Is he like a less athletic and fluid Musa?
I don't see that comp at all. So my thing with Papa is that he is not really.
Sorry.
What?
What's your thing with Papa?
God damn it. Look, he's not the most athletic guy, which I don't like starting out by saying like this is my center and he's not that athletic.
I mean, you've been saying that.
Yeah, right. But Hunter is so skilled, right? Like if
and 7'2".
Also that if you can make up for not jumping out the gym and dunking everything with you have an arsenal of unstoppable post moves, I'm fine with that. Papa doesn't have that from what I've seen. He's not a dunker guy. He's not like a lob guy. He's big. He's a true center, but he's just kind of plotting. And I personally am skeptical from what I've seen on what his offensive ceiling is there. I'll just say this. The pipeline is really good. I'm surprised Michigan got Papa Kante, because this is now like theoretically, if Hunter Dickinson was back next year, which I still think is going to happen, you have Hunter, you have Terrace Reed, you have Papa Kante. That's 3 centers that are capable of playing rotational minutes for sure. I would just say Papa Kante as a prospect is way behind the other 2. Like I think Terrace Reed can play, and Terrace Reed will play 8 minutes off the bench this year and could start next year and be pretty good. I don't see Papa really ever being that. I think if Papa becomes the starting center, I'm not super high on that team. I would hope he's more of a bench guy for his career.
You better hope Hunter stays next year.
You're not on Terrace Reed?
No, he's Eddie Curry. He'll eat himself out of the rotation before anything.
Eddie Curry would be a really good college basketball player.
If he didn't eat.
I mean, you're making horrible fat jokes. I don't like that.
I mean, as a fat guy, I can body shame. You shouldn't have the same shape as me.
He doesn't have the same shape as you.
He's hefty. No trash bag.
He's a center. He's not. First of all, he's not hefty. Second of all, you can have some meat when you're a center.
Okay. Our pod's gone to a lot of places before. That was a new low. That was a new low. But if your center rotation is going to be next year, Terrace Reed, Papa Kante, and Greg Glenn, that's your front court.
Hunter Dickinson's in the rotation next
year.
Okay,
so Hunter's okay, but so Papa Kante is basically Brandon Johns with a cool name.
No, totally different players. He's not a 4. Okay. Stop comparing him to 4s. He's a true center. He's just an unathletic 1, which I don't love. We'll see. I don't know. If he's the 3rd center, that's great. You have a really healthy
Is he Jackson Kohler?
Again, no.
I need a comp, Greg. I need a comp.
Jackson Kohler with no post moves and 6 more inches. Pause. But like there's nothing.
That's an awful player.
There's nothing alike between the 2 of them other than neither one of them are dunkers.
Okay, so is he? Is he good?
He's fine.
Because I'm in the same position as you. I haven't watched. Take this for what it is. Have not watched like any full game stuff of him, anything like that. Just highlights. specific. I mean, a good amount of highlights, though. I will say that nothing like really impressed me. I don't see anything.
Yeah, that's the Papa Kante experience.
Okay, all right. So I'm just making sure I'm coming from the right place.
He's big. I would call him a low 4-star. He's a top 100 guy though. So like he's a recruit you take, especially when your recruiting class has 0 players in it. 0 players. Juwan, figure some shit out. You did. You got Papa Kante. Great. I would give my left leg for Juwan Howard to be able to recruit a backcourt player first for once in his life. Like he's just going to get a center every single year. And great, we got Papa Kante. Cool. What are you going to do next? That's where I'm at. But Papa Kante's a take no matter who you are. He's a 4-star guy. You take him. But Michigan doesn't need him right now because I think Hunter's back and I think Terrace Reed's going to be good. And in general, I'm a little skeptical on Papa's game. We'll just say that. But for the name stuff, though, let's focus back on the name.
Let's focus back to this. The name lineup is elite.
I mean, Doug and Papa running pick and roll. Like, come on, dog. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Two unathletic people running a pick and roll with a 1.5 foot size difference.
Did you see the Kobe Buffkin dunk?
Yeah, Kobe Buffkin's been doing that.
He has not been doing that.
He has been
last year. He couldn't throw a dunk down last year in the dunk contest.
No, he can do that. He just can't. He can do that.
He couldn't. I'm telling you, Michigan.
I have seen Kobe Buffkin do that before.
Michigan ran the dunk contest last year, and no one on the team successfully threw a dunk down. And now Kobe's jumping over dudes doing between the legs. Like,
so also Kobe drains back, huh?
It's on yellow status right now. Where the eyebrows have been raised. I feel like I had one more thing for you, but I'm forgetting. Oh, there is no player on earth on any team in any level of basketball that I have been more excited to have to hear you be so 100% wrong about than Doug McDaniel. I would urge you to be cautious as a friend here, Cart. Just like guy to guy, I would urge you to calm down your hate comments and your slander comments on him, because I'm telling you that kid's going to be an animal.
Yeah, I'll try to shrink my slander a little bit because I feel like it may be getting a little bit out of control. So maybe I'll reel it back a little bit, and I'll keep it short with that.
It's going to be a lot of clips. That's all I'm saying.
It'll be short ones.
A lot of clips. Okay, it's rivalry week. That's a good transition. Just want to give you an open forum to get anything off your chest on how you feel about your rival program, your rival fans, your rival players, teams, anything. How do you feel about this rivalry week?
Right now, I'm the same size as Doug McDaniel sitting down. And I'm also at a stand-up desk. And if I was to put the desk at its ultimate height, the desk would be over his head because his desk goes to 5'8". On to rivalry week. It's a good time for everybody. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's poking fun on Twitter. I've seen some Shea Patterson highlights coming by these past couple of weeks. Donovan People-Jones hitting the Paul Bunyan. Jabril Peppers pick 6 or fumble, recovery for 6. The spread came out, Michigan minus 23.5. Good job by the sports makers. That's what you're supposed to do, set lines for games based on performances. I thought they did a good job of that. The line is fitting. We'll see 7:30 on Saturday who comes out on top.
Wow, that was pretty measured from you, honestly. I didn't know what to expect there. But look, your coach is undefeated in this rivalry.
I mean, I will say this. The biggest weapon that Michigan has, they don't want him throwing over 10 yards. And our biggest deficiency is our defensive back. So thank God Michigan doesn't want to air it out. But if they do decide to air it out, it might get super ugly because our defensive backs are absolutely terrible. But I have more confidence in stopping the run than stopping the pass.
I don't think that they don't want to air it out. I just think they haven't for multiple reasons this year. But I think they don't have to the way they run the ball. I think we might see it aired out a little bit if Michigan's not running the ball down Michigan State's throat. I think you're going to see a 5-star quarterback throwing to wide open wide receivers.
I mean, if there's one thing I don't fear when it comes to Michigan football, based on what I've seen, is JJ McCarthy versus Michigan State. So
big game JJ's a thing. He had
he's got. We got to see. Yeah, I guess
the pick six against Penn State. That's a thing, but same time he is leading the country in efficiency as a passer. So you can say what you want about JJ, but I had this exact conversation with Christian Hackenberg before the Penn State game. Like there's a lot of we're gonna win this game because we have Sean Clifford, not JJ McCarthy going on. Like, yeah.
Adobe Photoshop, Sean Clifford, Christian Hackenberg.
Okay. No, we're not gonna disrespect Hack. Hack is special.
Oh, I love Hack.
Well, just saying.
I love Hack, but Hack loves Sean Clifford. So in that case, I can't love Hack.
Yeah. This is a weird week for me, Cart, because I'm a Michigan State football fan. So
no, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're not.
I really am.
I don't think you are.
I will be wearing Michigan State gear to the watch party that I am attending this weekend, and I will be loudly cheering for Michigan State. And
where's the watch party at?
Supposedly at our house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like this is the first Patterson residence that's going on the thing at the Waddell household?
Oh, it's happened a couple times.
Has it?
We just I mean, our siblings have better houses for hosting parties than we do, but we're the sports family.
That is true. Shout out Nam, by the way. Great house.
He has a great house. All right. Well, good check-in. Hope you have a great rivalry week. Go green, go white.
Can I get a score prediction out of you before we get out of here?
I do think there's some Mel voodoo with Michigan, and that's probably the nicest thing I can say about our $95 million head coach who can't figure out how to run a draw play and call a timeout and kick a field goal. But I think he's 2-0 in this rivalry, and in my opinion, he's had the worst team really both times. I mean, last year Michigan State was a very good football team, so it was close, but Michigan made the playoff and was a very good team. So to me, he's won as an underdog twice in this rivalry. I think that matters, but I just think this team's so bad. I think there's so many holes, and I think Michigan is better than they were a year ago, honestly. So it's going to take a miracle, but we've seen miracles in the rivalry. Score prediction. I think it comes to an end. I think this is like a pour it on moment for Michigan on Michigan State, who's just better across the board. And I think Harbaugh's a dick and will probably pour it on.
I cannot take that. That will break me officially.
Yeah.
That will actually hide the sharp objects, call my close loved ones to check on me.
I'm thinking it's 44-7. MSU gets an early touchdown, 7-0, 7-3 or something, and then it's just floodgates.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Go green, go white, baby.
Let's get it. Just my hat's fire too. God damn, your hat selection's fire this morning. Okay.
Like I said, have a great week, Cart.